My name is Jordan, also known as Krebs. Today I want to talk about noise. Noise is a very special component when it comes to any type of electronic dance house or very big EDM productions. But what noise can actually be done with is that once you start to develop more and more noise techniques, by adding more and more frequencies to the signal, and if you export them and resample them, you can actually create something brand new from that. So I'm going to show you how to make a very basic white noise, and then I'm going to show you how to make a very crazy white noise, as in terms of harmonics and very crazy steps, and I'll show you what you can do with this. So I'm going to just throw in my operator right here, and instead of the wave to be a sine wave, I'm going to choose my noise white. Now if I go to 16, 32, or 64, it doesn't show up as a signal at all. So the best way to recreate this is to either use the noise white, and I apologize for the inconvenience, but it seems that I can't play anything with my keyboard today. What a shame. Anyways, I'm just going to draw in a note, and that's the white noise. Now let's say we want the white noise to swoosh in or swoosh out. We want to attack the envelope. Now I'm just going to move the attack a little bit further in, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, that's right. Okay, next I'm going to expand this to probably about 8 bars, all the way to 9. Just drag out this note so that way it doesn't repeat over and over again, so that way we can get the right signal for this. A lot of things involve white noise. A lot of it involves the spread. Even though you don't have it selected, if you just turn up the spread, it will still do the tune in both ears to give it that stereo width. For the tone, I'm going to push that all the way up to 100%. I really wish I had my keyboard. Yeah, it's just not working. So what we have now is we have a 5-second attack delay. But let's say we want to ring this out a little bit more. So I'll push up my release to probably about 2 seconds. There. Yeah. So now, not 2 milliseconds, but 2 seconds. I tried typing it in, it didn't quite work. There, 210 should be fine. And I'm also going to resample this and give you guys the loops just in case you know, you want some free stuff. Everybody loves free stuff, so why not? Resampling, go. Now, I do admit this is kind of a long loop, so I just want this to be 5 bars. So I'm just going to drag this to, 4 bars. Just going to drag that all the way to the 5 marker line, resample this again, and who knows, it might be great for you guys. See? So it's a nice swooshing build. But that's one of the ways you can create a white noise loop for basically EDM. You can also change the attack to be 0 milliseconds and actually just have this more like a pluck, a white noise pluck. So what I'm going to do for my mini clip, instead of like making a giant bar, I'm going to set this to my fourths and just draw out a whole bunch of fourths. I'll play this for 16 bars and I'll move the decay all the way up and all the way back to its fullest and then all the way to its shortest. So that way you guys can get all the certain percussions that you want from this resampling. So there we go. That's pretty cool. So the third way to create your own very nasty type of white noise is to basically mush a whole bunch of harmonics together. So I'm actually going to go to my oscillator. I'm going to go to 16 and I'm going to take off the first harmonic because it's a low waveform, and usually white noise is all basically comprised of a whole bunch of different signals. I choose to take out the bass. The reason why, or actually this first one that creates the bass, is because a lot of harmonics and white noise that I hear, I don't hear any bass. So I'm just going to go with it for now. On the repeat, I'm going to choose 1 and make sure that it sounds like a sine wave. So the next thing I'm going to do is play this over and over again. And let me make a chord real quick. I'm just going to copy and paste this and shift it up an octave. And of course apply 1 to the middle. Let's see what this is. G, perfect. Give it some more depth. On my return channels, I have a reverb and a delay for the for A and B. So I have the delay for B and I have the reverb for A. I'm going to turn it down because it's going to get annoying. I'm also going to remove all of the oscillator type things and set square. Going to remove the last one. Set the repeat to 2 instead to give it a more rounding type of sound. To give it a little bit more character but still take out the bass. Take that one out. Repeat to 2. If that goes on for another 5 minutes, I'm going to walk out my door and go tell him, can you shut your fucking car up? Thank you. Anyways, the next thing we want to do is, well, actually, let me see if that was distracting for a second. Let me see if we're almost there. Now, if you want to throw in some bass, you can do it at the very last operator. The reason why is because it doesn't matter towards the end. So I'm going to set basically this to a fixed hertz. So probably about 20 hertz. Set this to probably 0.1. Now, if I turn it up, you can probably still hear some harmonics. But what I'm going to do is resample this and stretch it and show you how some of the best unique ways to use noise to create something very interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to resample it real quick. Okay, so now that I have this loop, actually what I'm going to do is apply a little bit more parameters. So I'm going to set the spread to 64, right in the middle. I'm going to set my tone to 100%. For the time, I'm going to boost that to 30%. And for the LFO, I'm going to turn the amount to be about 37%, set it to sync, make sure it's 1/12. And I'm going to choose a saw up. And I'm going to make the attack be pretty damn far. Adjust my MIDI notes so that way it's one continuous string. And then resampling time. Well, that didn't quite work, but we still managed to get a better result. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this resampled white noise, not wet, white noise, and I'm going to set the first marker at 1, and I'm going to set my second marker probably at 3, and just stretch the crap out of it. The reason why I'm doing this is because I found out a long time ago that if you stretch white noise, you can actually hear all the individual sounds. That might be too low, so I'm going to set that to 24. Okay, so now that we have that long stretching kind of sort of disoriented sound. So what we can do with this, now that we have basically our white samples, is that when you drag it into sampler, you can loop it again and create some more bass lines from yesterday's video. I'm just going to duplicate my note, turn off the resample on that other clip, and basically just make a quick loop and show you guys that this is actually really powerful. So now we have this sort of, I wonder if I just looped it too much. And I'm also going to set my filter envelope to be a little bit out there. So now we have this sort of machine starting up. And you can really create a lot of dark, rich tones and textures. So I hope I enlightened you on how much white noise can really impact your set, and hopefully some new techniques. I'll see you guys in probably about an hour for another video, because it takes a really long time to render out high videos on my machine. Anyways, take care, and I'll play you guys out from here. The samples will be in the description below in a sort of neat pack. And I forgot to resample it. Okay, see you guys later.